This is the story of a girl who believed marriage would bring her a new beginning. But fate handed her over to a predator. A man who promised her love ended up selling her out. He filmed her, auctioned her, and turned her into a product. Slowly, she became a business. The smiles she showed on camera were fake, but the pain inside was real. Every day she kept being sold. Every scene felt like another piece of her was dying. But the world kept clapping. She became an adult film star, but deep inside, the real girl was still lost, still searching for herself. We'll see the full story today. Today's story is about a girl named Linda. A woman who became a famous name in the adult film industry. Her latest film has become a huge hit, but behind all the success, she is deeply unhappy and troubled. From here, the movie takes us into a flashback, showing how everything in Linda's life began. Where she started, and how she ended up in the adult industry. The year is 1970. One day, Linda's mom wasn't home, so Linda went to the swimming pool with her best friend, Patsy. They were relaxing when Patsy jokingly tried to unzip Linda's swimsuit. Linda immediately told her not to do that. A year earlier, something terrible had happened with Linda's boyfriend. Because of that incident, she still felt insecure and uncomfortable about her body and her boundaries. Pete tells her, "You're 21 now, you should start living freely." But Linda replies, "Do you even know what I've been through? If my mom sees any of this, she'll yell at me." Suddenly, Linda's mom comes home looking very upset. She's strict, and the moment she sees what Linda is wearing, she scolds her and tells her to come inside immediately. Later that evening, Linda and Patsy go to a club and start skating, where a band is performing live. Patsy tells the bartender that they're short on dancing girls tonight. So both of them get up on stage and start dancing, enjoying themselves without thinking much about anything else. We then see a boy named Chuck watching them very closely. Linda ignores him at first, but when they walk outside, Chuck approaches them and says, "You two could become professional dancers. You could make a lot of money doing this." Linda laughs and says, "That's a good joke. Who would pay to watch me dance?" Chuck smiles and replies, "I would. I'd pay to watch you anytime." Linda realizes he's flirting with her and tells Patsy, "It's getting late, we should head home." But Chuck keeps talking. He's charming, confident, and knows exactly what to say. But over time, they all become really good friends. A few days later, one night when Linda is getting ready to go out, her mom stops her and asks, "Where have you been going so late at night?" Linda tells her, "I'm going to a party with Patsy, and I'll be back by 11. But this party was actually for Chuck. It was Linda's first real date with him. At the party, they talk a lot and share their first kiss. Chuck treats her gently and respectfully, and for the first time, Linda feels like someone truly sees her. They both start to like each other. But something else is going on here, and we'll find out soon. After spending some time together, Linda says she needs to get home quickly or her mom will scold her again. Chuck offers to drop her off. Noticing how sad Linda seems, he gently asks, "You look worried, is something bothering you? You can tell me if you want." So Linda finally opens up and says, "There's something important you should know. A year ago, I got pregnant by mistake. My family didn't support me at all. My mom gave my baby up for adoption. So, he's not with me." She explains that her mom is very strict and would never agree to anything Linda wanted. Chuck smiles and says, "Hey, why don't you plan a dinner and introduce me to your parents? I guarantee they'll like me. And if they don't, then you have to stay at my place for one night." Linda laughs at his confidence. The next day, during dinner, she invites Chuck over. At the table, Chuck tells them he was in the army. Since Linda's father was a police officer, this immediately impresses him. Chuck does everything he can to make a good impression. After dinner, when Linda's parents start watching TV, Linda and Chuck step into the kitchen. They're both excited because her parents clearly liked Chuck. And right there in the kitchen, the two of them grow even closer. After that, with Linda's parents' permission, Chuck takes her to his house under the pretense of showing her a movie. But instead, the two grow even closer and share some intimate, beautiful moments together. Linda begins to trust Chuck completely, and Chuck seems to genuinely win her heart as well. However, when Linda returns home late after spending time with him, her mother slaps her. Hurt and angry, Linda leaves the house the next morning and decides to live with Chuck. From that point on, her days feel happier. They spend a lot of time together, laugh, and enjoy each other's company. One night, Chuck hosts a party at his place. Many of his friends come, and Linda's friend Patsy shows up too. While the party is going on, Chuck sits down to watch an adult film. Linda walks in looking for him and feels uncomfortable. She tells him, "I've never watched anything like this. Good girls don't watch those movies." Chuck laughs and says, "Don't be shy. I'll teach you everything." That night, the two become even more intimate. And at Chuck's insistence, Linda starts doing whatever he asks, just to keep him happy. Linda never felt comfortable doing these things, and she never really thought it was right. But what she doesn't know is that Chuck has been secretly recording everything. Time passes, and eventually the two get married. 6 months after the wedding, Linda suddenly gets a call from the police station saying Chuck has been arrested. Linda rushes over, pays the fine, and brings him out. When they're alone, she asks, "What did you do this time?" Chuck snaps back, "I already told you, don't question my work." Linda knew he supplied dancer girls for clubs. But now his words make it clear that he is also involved in prostitution. Chuck tries to justify himself, saying, "Those girls need money. I just helped them. But the police ruined my whole operation. I'm broke now, and I need a lot of money." Then he suddenly gets an idea. He takes Linda to a production company, where the director already knows Chuck. The director decides to audition Linda. When the director sees Linda, he doesn't say anything at first. Then he sends Chuck out to get coffee and quietly tells his team, "This girl won't work. People now want a more bold, naughty type. She looks way too innocent." Chuck returns and immediately starts begging the director to give Linda a chance. But the director refuses and says, "Don't ruin the life of an innocent girl for this. And the worst part, you didn't even tell her what kind of audition this is." But Chuck has sunk so low for money that he doesn't care anymore. He shows the director the secret intimate video he recorded of Linda without her knowledge. The director is shocked when he sees it. And just like that, Linda gets cast in a film. The next day, Linda's first shoot begins. She's in the makeup room when the film's investor, Anthony, walks in. He smiles at her and says, "I've seen your work. You're amazing. You're going to be a star." Linda feels genuinely happy hearing this. But the happiness on Linda's face isn't real. Anyone watching her closely could see the fear behind her smile. Before the shoot begins, Linda feels nervous and keeps practicing her lines. The film's hero, Harry, walks in, notices her anxiety, and gently encourages her. "You're going to do great. When we're in the scene together, everything will go smoothly. Don't worry." Then the first scene of the film is shot. Linda performs surprisingly well, and everyone praises her. But Anthony pulls Butch aside and says that when Linda's intimate scene is shot the next day, Chuck might create trouble. So Anthony's man, Butch, tells Chuck, "You need to go to Miami and bring back the reels. If you don't go, the whole production could get delayed." Chuck argues, "Linda will need me tomorrow." But Butch insists he has to leave immediately. The next day, the shoot begins without Chuck. To everyone's surprise, Linda's performance is incredible. She handles the scenes with confidence, and even though the hero keeps messing up his timing, Linda carries the entire scene flawlessly. The whole movie turns out great. That evening, everyone gathers to celebrate. Chuck also returns and tells Linda, "Why don't you come sit with Anthony? It seems that everywhere you turn, people are talking about Linda." Interviews start lining up, and her dream of becoming a real movie star begins to feel within reach. But when her parents find out about her career, they are deeply upset. One day, Linda attends a private party, where she meets Hugh Hefner, the editor of Playboy magazine. Linda is thrilled to meet him, and Hefner praises her, saying, "You have the potential to be a real movie star. I'll help you get there." 6 years later, a scene shows Linda stepping away from the film industry. She begins writing her biography, wanting to tell her story. However, the publisher asks her to take a polygraph test, to verify how much of her story is true. Now, the real truth behind Linda's life, the story we've been seeing, was about to come out. The truth is, when Linda married Chuck, her life was thrown into complete chaos. At first, Chuck showed Linda affection, and she fell for his fake love. But gradually, he started forcing her into everything and controlling her completely. Linda tried to understand, thinking this was love, but it wasn't. When Chuck needed more money, he took Linda to a club. Linda asked him several times why, but he kept saying, "You're my wife, and we need money. We have to do this together." At the club, a doctor watched Linda dance and seemed very interested. Chuck made a deal with him and forced Linda to have sex with the doctor in a private room. Slowly, Chuck began forcing her to do these things regularly. If Linda refused, he would beat her badly. One night, Linda went to her mother and asked, "Can I stay here for a few days? Chuck might kill me if I stay with him." But instead of giving her refuge, her mother reminded her, "When I became pregnant at 18, I had to endure a lot from society. Your father also told me that if you stay at home without your husband, people will start taunting you." Her mother gave her some advice that crushed Linda's heart. "You may have done something wrong. Go back to your husband and do whatever he says." Linda had only wanted a few days of support, but her mother refused to let her stay at home. Soon after, Chuck called and came to take Linda back. Once home, he told her she would now act in a film, one of those movies people watch for pleasure, not for Linda. When Linda hesitated, Chuck threatened her with a gun and forced her to comply. For the next few days, Chuck caused her immense pain and suffering, pushing her into the adult film world. Linda was terrified and did things she had never wanted to do. After her first film shoot, there was a party that evening. Anthony asked Linda to come sit with him, but she refused. When she returned to the room, Chuck beat her badly because she hadn't obeyed him. Everyone else assumed they were enjoying themselves, completely unaware of the abuse. Linda's life continued like this, helpless, controlled, and full of fear. One day, Linda goes to visit her friend Patsy. Chuck comes along as well. Patsy, clearly worried, says, "I care about you so much. I'm worried about everything you're doing in these movies. Is Chuck forcing you to do all this? What's really happening?" Linda wants to tell her everything, but Chuck is listening from outside. So she lies, saying, "I'm really lucky to have Chuck as my husband." Later, at a party, Chuck asks Anthony for money. Anthony says, "I'll pay Linda $1 million for the next film," and he's already told Linda about this. But Chuck hadn't been told, and in a fit of rage, he beat her. Then Chuck takes the money from Linda's film, buys a luxurious house, and starts a toy business with another man. He even hires a writer to publish a fake biography of Linda. Anthony comes to ask Chuck for money because Chuck's next film had gone over budget, and Anthony had invested a lot. Chuck promises he'll pay him in a few days, but Anthony says, You need to convince Linda to do one more film first. Later, in one scene, we see that when Linda's film is released, Hugh Hefner calls her. He lures her with promises of stardom, asking her to spend the night with him. Hearing this, Linda feels devastated. She realizes that, slowly, she has become more like a product than a person. One night, Linda calls her parents. Her father says, "We want to see your film. We know everything about it. Is this what you were raised for?" Linda's heart breaks, but she cannot bring herself to speak openly to her father. Meanwhile, Chuck comes home and demands that Linda do another film. This time, however, Linda refuses. She tries to assert herself, and Chuck doesn't push the issue, at least not immediately. Later, at a party, Chuck asks her to leave. But Linda doesn't leave, and instead, Chuck deceives her and takes her to a hotel. Chuck trades Linda for money. When she realizes what's happening, she refuses to participate. Chuck threatens her again, showing her a gun. Soon, many people enter the room, and Linda is coerced into doing it. Chuck listens to everything from outside the door. But Linda worries. She knows Chuck will torture her and take all the money by force. So she refuses to do any more films. Seeing her condition, Anthony feels deeply sorry for her. He supports her and even provides a safe house where she can live in peace. Meanwhile, Chuck searches for her everywhere, growing angrier by the day. Finally, one night, he tracks her to a location and arrives with a gun. But it's not Linda he finds, it's Anthony with his men. Anthony, furious, shouts, "You will never have Linda again." He strikes Chuck hard with a belt and tells him, "You will never have Linda again. And, you'll have to return all the money." The story then shifts to the present, where Linda is living happily in a beautiful house, finally free from Chuck and her past. Linda now has a husband and a cute little son. She is also writing her real biography, telling the story of her life. The publisher calls to inform her that her polygraph test is complete, and her story has been approved. Her husband asks, "Do you really want to tell the world about this?" Linda replies confidently, "Yes. Everyone should know my story." Her book is published and quickly becomes famous worldwide. She even appears for interviews on TV. Her parents watch her on television. During one interview, the anchor says, "Many people have read your book, and they have a lot of questions. Why didn't you speak up when all this was happening? If you wanted, you could have stopped it long before it got this far." The anchor asks, "This story could have come out sooner. Now it will follow you for a lifetime. Won't it?" Linda replies, "Yes, I went through some very difficult times in my life. But that shaped who I am today. That is my reality, and I am happy with it. We were taught from childhood that a wife should obey her husband. When I first met Chuck, he seemed like a gentleman. But gradually, his behavior changed. I was forced into doing things I never wanted to do. Circumstances trapped me, and I had no one to turn to. Even my mother didn't understand my pain at the time. She became very sad herself, because as a mother, she couldn't see or help her daughter's suffering. Eventually, the parents who raised me for so many years finally reached out. They called me home, hugged me, and cried. Once again, we became a family, sharing our joys together." Linda's book gave her back her true identity. Through her biography, she sent a message to the world. If you are honest and truly want to change, it is never too late to reclaim your life. That's the end of our movie recap. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a comment and share it with your friends. Until next time, take care.